Hey guys, and welcome to the channel. I'm Zemo, the dad in DPS, and today's video we are back yet again with another episode of The Good, The Scrap, and The Script, a series of videos where I review weapons in Appalachia that I have either found, been given, or created myself, and see if they're up to scratch. And today's video is no different. So before we get into it, don't forget to leave a like, a comment, and subscribe. And here it is. And today we have Magnum. Key in the eye. Now this is a anti-armor weapon speed action point cost 0.44 pistol. And to be honest, I find these weapons quite fun to use. I always have done. I love the consistency of them. We're going to see how well this one holds up today. So, yeah, let's see the build we're using. Now, as I always say with my build, don't take it with much credit. This is just a basic build. We're not really farting around with stuff until next patch build wise, so I'm kind of just using stuff to give me damage and general utilities. So this weapon cannot really be used in stealth. I mean, anything in theory could be used for that first shot in stealth, but in terms of the way this gun works, you're not going to be able to stealth things. Now, I'm also going to say that against at least super mutants, you're not going to be one-shotting things either. And when you compare this to its little brother, the single action, or big brother, depending on what you want to say about it, this has much quicker of a reload speed. Now, you could say that having in that bottom slot the effect of reload speed would be far more beneficial, but it's not as important on this weapon because it reloads pretty quick as is anyway. Now, when it comes to taking out super mutants, usually 3-4 shots, depending on your crits. You could optimize your build to optimize for crits, which would then obviously make you take less shots and get a lot more ammo back as a result. But realistically, it's actually a decent little gun. It feels fun to use, you can get some good shots in. Being a pistol, you do need to be that much closer with your initial shots because of the fact that pistols don't have the same accuracy that rifles do. So as a result, you will be using this gun at a closer range than you would be normally with like a rifle. But it takes down enemies. It doesn't do it very slowly, so it's actually quite satisfying to use. One thing I would say, if you are not a fan of reloading, if you're the kind of person that values quad over anything else and all your other weapons and you just don't want to reload, this isn't the gun for you. But at the same time, like if you don't mind the reloading, you don't mind like the little break between all your kills, because I quite often will reload just because, then yeah, this is a decent little gun. It's fun to use, it feels good. And this is the thing, this is a big part of what I say on this channel all the time. Does it feel good to use it? And yeah, it does. It actually feels really good to use it. I find it quite a satisfying weapon to use. The reload animation is slick, it looks good, and I just like the weapon. I have always liked pistols, and I'm looking forward to the coming patches because weapons overall and across the board are getting a rework, and I'm hoping that they rework weapons like this and give them a bit more bang for their buck, because you're seeing like it kills things quite effectively. It's just not a fixer, it's not a freaking a handmade, it's not like the best heavy weapons in the game, but it does the job that you need it for in most cases. As always, we take our fight to Jeff. Now, I'm going to wait until he gets up, on the basis that I quite often find that for some reason he just doesn't want to take damage during, like there, he just doesn't want to take damage during certain animations. Now you're seeing, like, this isn't the best thing to take on Jeff with. He's not dying particularly quickly with it. And this is where this gun kind of falls short. Against bigger targets, it's a bit slower, but it's by far not the worst weapon we've ever reviewed in regards to it. And it is a case of, against Jeff, with the right tactics and you just doing your thing, you will take him down, you will kill him, and it does that job as well. It's just not as quick as some of my other weapons where he wouldn't even get a chance to get up because I'd wail on him real quick. But with this, yeah, it'll kill him. So now we come to the Mirelurk Queen. Now, when it comes to pistols, and she's already got a crippled left leg, I recommend when you come up against the Marler Queen with pistols is your best bet's cripple her legs and then kind of go from there. Now that can be really awkward to do depending on what she's doing, and if you're unlucky, like in this instance right now, we are not getting that cripple, even though I've got a perk on that should cripple her. There we go. And then what to do is get on the opposite side of her, and then stop those spouts from getting you. Now, what the hell? Why is she turning? She shouldn't be turning. Now, what I'm going to say is this is not the weapon to use on her. Like, your damage. What is going on? What the freaking Christ? What is even going on? Freaking magic T-posing Marler Queen that can move when... Yeah, this is an unusual one. But what I'm basically saying to you, she shouldn't be able to do that. Yeah. That was weird. Either way, while we're in this screen, I just wouldn't bother trying to kill a Marler Queen with this weapon on your own. It's a waste of ammo, and quite frankly, she sometimes bugs out and does weird crap like that, where she can T-pose and she should be crippled on the ground. The Christ is even happening. Yeah, don't use this weapon on the Queen. It's not very fun to use against her. So we're in expeditions now, and this is where the shortcomings of this weapon start to become readily apparent. Now, against the Overgrown at the start of this specific expedition, you're seeing that you're getting your ammo back quite consistently. The Overgrown go down quite easily. At least that's how it seems on the surface. Now, the individual Overgrowns are not a problem for me. These guys are gonna die, and I'm gonna get a chunk of ammo back. It's really good for farming ammo. But the real problem comes when you go into the groups of the Overgrown that have the pollinators. And the reason this is a problem, you'll see in a second, is that you don't do very much damage to the pollinators. They take a lot of shots. So if you're being swarmed by a bunch of Overgrown, then you're going to struggle to take them down quick enough because of the pollinators. And this is the kind of problem with this weapon. If you are up against 30 enemies and those enemies seem to be able to heal, you're going to struggle. You're really going to struggle with this weapon. And it's just not quick enough, it's just not got enough damage, it's just not good enough. Sorry, that wouldn't let me loot that there. It was just not good enough to deal with big groups of enemies. It is very much a one-on-one type weapon with small groups of enemies, and it'll do really well. That being said, when it comes to the human enemies in here, you're not going to struggle at all. They go down fairly quick. They don't have any regenerating mechanics. They are, cannon fodder. But at the same time, it doesn't kill very quickly. And you're seeing that sometimes I'm just dying because bad luck and not being able to get my shots in quick enough, because it's a very slow and take your own pace weapon. It's not a weapon I would recommend for somebody that wants to just obliterate everything really quickly. And as a result, it's just not as good at what it does as some of its competitors, things like the Crusader pistol, the 10mm. They just overall do better than it. Even the short Western revolver is probably going to have better chances and better damage than this weapon. But then again, that's a comparison video to maybe make in the future. It feels like there's something lacking in the grand scheme of things. And while it is fun to wander around with Appalachia using this weapon, killing things as you go, I just feel like it is not where it needs to be. It's not where I want it to be, and unfortunately, because of its low magazine, only having 6 shots, its reload speed is good, it is fast. It just feels like I'm not killing things quick enough to really benefit me in the long term. And then against your big enemies, yeah, you're struggling as well. Now this is kind of a weird and unique weapon in the sense that normally if I don't feel it's doing very well in the last 2 tests, I don't recommend it. But this is a gun I do actually recommend. I actually enjoy using it. And this is the kind of paradox of this weapon, the .44 pistol, is that it's not bad, but it's not as good, and not as good by a fair margin as its major competitors, which are things like your Crusader pistols and your 10mm pistols. They just do everything that it does significantly better. And that's kind of the problem, is that it is by comparison one of the weaker pistols to those two. But at the same time, it is fun to use. I would recommend using this to go around doing your killing ghouls, killing scorch, killing super mutants, you know, smaller enemies. But it's when you start getting to your bigger, chunkier enemies like, you know, Jeff, we did okay against. The Mirelurk Queen, I wouldn't recommend it. The larger of the cryptids. So it really depends on what you're using with it. And it's why I would recommend having this weapon as a sidearm and the Crusader as your main weapon if you're using a pistol build. Just use your Crusader to take down your bigger targets. Use this to take down the smaller guys. But, you know, maybe that's just me. Either way, guys, if you've enjoyed today's video, just don't forget to leave a like, a comment, and subscribe. It really helps out the channel, keeps me making videos for you. And as I've said in previous videos, we're going to be winding down on the weapon stuff until the next patch fairly soon, because the reality is there's not a lot to cover in the game that hasn't been covered at the moment, and a lot of stuff is going to change, so I kind of want to save my energy for when we get this new system and you know, everything's being adjusted and whatnot. Either way, I'll catch you all next time in the wasteland.
You hear him barking, you feel you're close to the end, running through the night, shadows lurking round the bend, heart pounding fast, adrenaline starts to flow. Can you survive the chase? Only time will let you know. Eyes lock in the tension.